We Call the Midwife, and we're back with our season 2 roundup. I'm Becky.
I'm Alex.
I'm Jen, and I'm just gonna not give a disclaimer this week because we're kind of recapping all episodes, so we may touch on some sensitive subjects. So just be mindful that there may be things you aren't prepared to listen to, but we're gonna generally try to keep it on the lighter side this time. Okay.
Also, I've gone all American because I was like, season 2.
You sound exactly like me, Bex. I don't know, the listeners are gonna be able to tell us apart. Okay, girls. So we had a really good response, and we really enjoyed this when we did this for the ending of season 1. So I have tirelessly and with much, much effort combed through all of the episodes from season 2, and I have
She actually has, though, listeners. Like, really, she really has. So well done, Jen.
I really did. And I have pulled quotes from each episode. We're going to go in kind of chronological order because we like to make it a bit of a game. And in order to help, we kind of want people to be, kind of knowing where they are in space and time with this season. I'm going to read the quotes, and then the job is to guess who said it. And then we'll kind of talk about the context around it. I will just say, girls, there were some really tough episodes this season, and I just really decided I wanted to make this a fun one. So I've tried to choose kind of funnier quotes and quotes that maybe were surrounding storylines or events that didn't get as much like heavy discussion when we talked about it the first time. So if that helps you, there you go.
I'm excited.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, first quote. Now, just to say, you guys, last time I said like it's either a nun or it's not a nun. Obviously, this time we just know it's kind of anyone in the periphery of the cast, so just be aware. And I tried not to choose all like main characters, so just as a hint, there might be some people who are more secondary in this like little roundup. Okay, first quote. Hooter's gone for the evening shift. I need to go and buy myself a pie. It's just be inconsiderate asking her for sandwiches.
Is it?
Oh,
no, you go.
No, I know. You go.
Is it Peter Noakes?
It's a husband, so you are on the right track. It's a husband, but it's not Peter Noakes. No.
Oh, hang on. I thought it was, so I didn't know.
Okay, so this is actually this is probably one of the most obscure ones we're gonna have this time.
Hang on, say it again, just say it again.
Hooter's gone for the evening shift, and I need to go and buy myself a pie. It'd just be inconsiderate asking her for sandwiches.
So, oh, is it the husband
in labor? Isn't it?
Husband? Yes. Husband is right. Whose husband is it? Do you guys know?
The woman who's in labor, isn't it? The one who wanted the gas and air.
Yes, Bella, the one who was like, "Get the doctor down here right now." Basically, they called the midwives because she's giving birth, and the girls are coming up the steps, and the husband is walking out, and he's like, "Oh, I've got to go to work, but I got to leave now because I have to get myself a pie." Like, I felt like it would be really rude to ask her to make me lunch.
Imagine just going to work. Your wife's in labor, and you're like, "Ciao."
You're like, "Well, if you've had it by the time I get back, I guess I'll meet the baby once I'm done with the first shift." That just made me laugh. Also, I don't know who Hooters is. I don't even know what that reference is, but I just really thought that was.
I don't know.
It confused me.
It was very random, but I will say I did get a lot of joy out of watching Dr. Turner just like fling himself across Poplar with the gas and air in his boot and everything. The little montage of that just had me going once more. So, okay. All right, next. Pull yourself together. No one's going to be looking up your drawers.
This is, do you know, Alex?
Drawers?
No, I'm thick today. Go on.
So is this, oh no, I don't know if it happened in series 2. Is this when Sister Evangelina and Trixie had to go onto the boat?
Yes, it is. And also, just hint, Bex, all of these quotes are from season 2. They're not from any they're not from any other series.
I never know what now was in series 2 because it all just becomes one big so it's when they've got to climb that, oh my god, that rope ladder they had to climb up. I would not have got up that rope ladder.
I wouldn't have. That baby was just going to be born without me there.
Good luck. I know. Well, and actually, again, when I was watching this, like Sister Evangelina, like they're rowing up, and you can tell her and Trixie are both very scared. And Trixie's like, "Oh, I really don't know how we're gonna do this." And Sister Evangelina is like, "Well, they're probably just gonna, winch the boat all the way to the top, and it'll be fine. Don't worry about it." And then she's like, "No, I'm not climbing this ladder." And she's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. No one's gonna be looking up your drawer, like looking up your skirt, basically." And she says a few funny things, but Yeah, that one I thought was kind of funny. And I gotta say, Sister Evangelina just has some golden nuggets in this episode, so I pulled a few from hers. Okay.
I loved that episode. I know it was all about exploitation and someone pimping out their child, but it was just so heartwarming.
Al, I tried to see if I could pull the quote for Molly Brignall's mom, where she says like, I did my dancing then, but I never heard her say that. I wonder if that scene was cut for me. You know, like I got the whole scene, but I didn't get the whole scene, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like they gave the context, but she didn't give that extra bit of like, oh, I wasn't really there for my kid.
Yeah, she was in a lounge because the fight, we saw the fireplace and everything. So she was like, yeah, I did my dancing then.
Yeah, done my dancing then. Okay. All right, now I'll give a little hint because this is a bit of a tough one.
No, give it us first because I want to try it.
Okay, I'll just give it to you straight first. I feel your touch, your warm embrace, and I'm in heaven again.
That's the song.
Yes, you got it. Very good.
Hey.
That's the lyric right before they go, you are
my special angel.
I just had to pull that because it's the one where Peter and Chummy are dancing in the lounge and everything, and they even said something about like, oh, we're dancing in the lounge, like, you know, like what, you know, we're losers.
This is the scene that you can really relate to, Alex.
Yeah, that everyone does it, don't they? Just dances in the lounge.
Yeah.
That's after I record this. I'm going down. My husband's waiting for me. He's just dancing on his own at the moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a couple of big pillows together and do it by myself until I have someone to do it with in person.
You'll probably have more interaction with that pillow than I will if the football's on.
You'll barely have like a warm body to stand up for you. Yeah, I don't know what that name is called. I just literally wrote down Special Angel Song. So I mean, I'm sure it has a really beautiful name, but that's what I've got. Okay. Here we go. Next one. I haven't seen you for 6 months, and here I am banging on about concrete.
So
I know who it is.
So is it when Peter and Chummy have got back from Africa?
Nope.
No. Concrete's your clue here. Who trained in concrete?
It's Jimmy.
Very good. It is Jimmy. Yeah. Like they just saw each other, and you know, she's like, "Oh, Jimmy," and he's like, "Oh, Jen, what are you doing here?" Or whatever. And she's like, "Well, I work here every single day." And then they go over to she's like, "Well, do you want to have lunch?" Something, whatever. And they're on the thing, and he's like, "Well, you know, we're doing this and this and this and this." And he's like, and then she just starts laughing, and he's like, you know, he's like, "Well, here it is. I haven't seen you for 6 months, and I'm just banging around on concrete. Like, how are you doing? Blah 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 blah." And they have a long conversation.
Like Daddy Pig's the world expert on concrete from Peppa Pig, by the way. Just, you know, Jimmy is just like Daddy Pig, is my point.
In so many ways. No, I gotta say, I had a little bit of a soft spot for Jimmy rewatching this. Like,
you had a soft spot anyway.
Soft spot.
You're just basically a big puddle of water for him.
I just like Jimmy.
There's no firmness. It's pure.
I'm just like a tomato that's been squished. Oh, that's a terrible.
Just for Jimmy. I think my puddle of water one was worse, to be honest, Jen, but carry on.
I don't know. And I will say we're gonna do this in a bit, but I was really surprised by how different the story from Jennifer Worth's book about Jimmy is than how his story is in the show.
Yeah,
and we have to go into that in like major detail, but I don't know. I think I just really like this actor. Like every time I just see him, I just am like, oh, you're so cute.
And you know, he's in Casualty now. He's a doctor in Casualty.
Oh, I may have to watch Casualty.
And he's not aged, Jen. Considering that we're on like series, what are we on now? Series 13.
Yeah. Well,
it's been 10 years, hasn't it?
Yeah.
He just looks the same, Jen.
He looks 20. He's Benjamin Button.
He really does have one of those faces that just look like it's just like a baby face forever.
I think we spent too much time on Jimmy. Let's go to the next question.
Okay. Well, I could talk for 4 more hours, but I will give you what you want this time. Okay. All right. Okay, here we go. He will marry me. He just doesn't know yet about this. We're going to do it terrible proper, the wedding. I'll have the dress. I love what Grace Kelly wore, and we'll have the house in the country. My chap will see to that.
Now, is this Jimmy's Jimmy's knocked up
Pregnant bit on the side. Knocked up.
She's in the family
Francine,
way. She's in the family way. Yes, this is Francine. I just had to put this quote in there because I know I brought it up when we talked about this episode, but my mind absolutely boggles because like he doesn't even know that she's pregnant yet, and she's like, "Oh yeah, no, we're gonna get married." Like I'm literally picked out my wedding dress, I picked out the house in the country. Like he's just gonna go along with it, and like I don't dislike Francine, and like I do get that like without like marriage and something to make quote the situation respectable, that she's really 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 in a bad place. But at the same time, just like I don't know.
But she knows he's a good guy, Jen. She knows he's going to do the decent thing.
I know, but and it's not her. And I talked about this before, but I don't know. The presumption of it just annoyed me.
But in those days, you could presume, like, if you got pregnant, they were going to marry you. That was the way it happened. That's what happened in the 50s.
Maybe that's why she got pregnant.
Oh, someone's doing victim blaming.
She's not a victim. Francine is not a victim.
Honestly, you two, I think you're a bit too on Jimmy's side. Like he knew what he was doing. Come on, calm down.
They both did. It just, I don't know. I just also am like.
Also, can you hang on? How is he so passive in this? Like he was dipping his wig. Like he knew the consequences that could happen. So why is he like?
Maybe Francine knew about Jenny, and she was like, "Right, I need to seal the deal here."
Yeah.
Well, Jenny wasn't gonna, so.
I mean, that is true.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's stop thinking about Jimmy. Next question.
I
bet it's another Jimmy quote.
Yeah, really. I've just chosen every single line he has from the next 3 episodes. Okay. Whether you are ready to hear it or not, I believe you are a wonderful midwife, Nurse Miller.
Oh, Bex.
So they're talking to Cynthia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well done. Well deduced.
the lights, the engines are firing. Here we go. The lights are on. The house is warm.
It's the episode when the baby dies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think it's Sister Julianne.
Yes, very good, very good, very good. I actually, I wanted to put more Sister Julianne in here because I didn't do hardly any for her last time.
Well, I just feel like Sister Julianne is just so wise and amazing, and you can do a lot wrong apart from the incest. Being all right with incest,
but you can do anything really and she'll be forgiven.
True, but also you can do a lot more wrong than follow her advice in life. She's very, very wise and forgiving and lovely. And I just think, sometimes I am a very big Neighbours fan, and I think in life, what would Susan Kennedy do? That means nothing to American viewers. It's a very wise woman in Neighbours, Susan Kennedy. Watch it, it's great. But I think a lot you could do the same with what would Sister Julianne do.
Oh, I completely agree.
That is a very good thing added in life. Like, if you're unsure of a situation, you feel a bit, what would Sister Julianne do? Unless it's about incest. Don't go with that advice if it's about incest.
Well, hopefully not too many of us are going to be encountering issues where we'd have to navigate that particular problem. So
you'd be surprised, Jen. Carry on.
I will say the other thing about Sister Julianne, she is so wise, but her way of putting things, and specifically Jenny Agutter, who plays her, it like her whole like the way she gives the wisdom out, her manner,
delivers,
her tone,
the way she delivers it.
Delivery. Oh, it's just like the way that like this is such a simple line, and I know that I do not have any of the same like magic or charm as a performer that she does, but the way that she delivers this line, this very simple line, it's so beautiful, and like you can tell that it really like, because when I was watching the scene, like Cynthia has just gotten the news from Dr. Turner that the baby's death was completely unavoidable. No one could have done anything to save that child, sadly. And so it's a relief, but also still a grief that Cynthia is carrying, and she's trying to restore her own faith in her in her abilities. And Sister Julianne says this to her, and you can tell how much it genuinely builds her back up again.
But also it's said with such calmness, like she's just so calm.
She is a very cool and calm.
You could do that with your voice, and my voice does not blend well to that kind of.
Oh no, I've got a horrible voice. I feel sorry for
no. At least you sound like a cartoon character like me.
What was the nuns were completely fine with incest. What else were they complete? There was another really scandalous thing, wasn't there, that they were really forgiving of?
I mean, there's.
I know the 14-year-old marrying the paedophilia.
Yes.
So paedophilia
right,
and
right.
incest, two things that, if I'm honest, would get you cancelled nowadays.
Yeah.
Should have got them cancelled then. Anyway.
Well, even in the first episode of series 2, when they talk about Molly Brignall, Sister Monica Joan is like, well, like the law says a man has the right to beat his wife up to this certain point, and that's what it says. So, there you go. And all the girls are like Cynthia, she's like, well, I don't know if that's still the way it is. And she's like, no, I don't know. You might be surprised. And it was like, oh my, I don't know. They weren't condoning domestic abuse, but just to be clear.
I reckon there's more of it going on than we see.
Oh,
yeah.
girls.
Well, I think that's true in
life.
2022. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say this. I've now been watching a lot of Call the Midwives, like even forward into many of the seasons. And we had said something earlier about the fact that we were like, oh, we're really surprised that domestic abuse isn't like a bigger, consistent storyline in the show. But as I've been watching it, I'm like, oh, it's a very consistent storyline. Even if it's something that's like not like front and center, it kind of is an undercurrent that's running through. In fact, there's a character in one of the episodes where she says like, oh, I really love my husband. Like, what more could I ask for? He's like, he's never raised a hand to me. And he's like, always kept a roof over my head or something like that. And I was like, well, that's a very, very, very low bar. But I mean, okay. I mean, she was talking about a genuine loving marriage, but I was like, I think you can ask a little bit more than that. But all right. Okay. Next one. Okay, this is I think you guys are gonna get this, but it's a little bit wacky. Well, it'll all become clear when you've knitted the clothes.
This is, who's saying it though? Who's she saying it to? Is it, are they talking to Chummy?
No.
Is it that woman who wants to run off? Have I started watching into series 3?
Yeah.
Probably. This is like one of your all-time favorite characters, Bex.
Fred?
No.
Oh.
I mean, yes, Fred is an all-time favorite, but no, this is like every episode this series, you've been like, I love
Jane.
Yes.
Is it about Pinky and Perky?
Pinky and Perky, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't want to give it away. If I'd put the next line in, it would have given it away. But she
Perky's
says like,
got a hat or something.
Yeah, she's like,
I love Jane.
Yeah, I know. Jane is
R.I.P. Jane.
No,
she's not dead. I just mean like, I'm sad she's gone.
She's living with Reverend Appleby Thornton.
Yeah,
not under the brush. They'll be fully married, thanks to Rebecca Louise Hull. But why did we not get a wedding? That's what I'm annoyed about.
I know.
Such a lovely wedding.
I know.
Well, also, girls, like I watched that episode again, obviously, and like Reverend Appleby Thornton is so sweet and cute and like just
annoying but amazing.
I know, he loved it.
Would you marry him?
Yes.
I actually think yes, Bex. You need to find your Reverend Appleby Thornton. I think somebody like that would be good for you.
I would never have to speak again.
Yeah, you would just you could just silently kind of float through everything in life. I don't know, just like
on foreign holidays, Alex, and you always know a bit of the language, and then people come to ask for our order, and I just look at you and you order for me.
So what she's saying there is I do a little bit of research in the language of the place and I order some and I'm like trying to do, and she does not take any interest and just wants to sit there silently.
Yeah. Well, and actually that Reverend Appleby Thornton is the international travel of the two of them. So he would be able to do that.
I'd be fine with that.
He could order all of your meals when you go to to Africa. Yeah, when you go to Sierra Leone. Yeah. Also, girls, like the scene where he asks her to the dance is so sweet. I mean, he's just like, well, if you can say no, but do you want to go? And also like, I guess I'll stop talking now. And then there's this dead silence for like 5 seconds. And he's like, okay, I guess I'll start talking again. Like, blah, blah, like it's just so there's something just so disarmingly charming about this man. And I just think it's
I think I see myself in him because I am a silence filler.
Yeah.
And I know that can really grate on people.
Do you guys ever watch Dairy Girls? Have you guys seen those shows?
Oh, love
I
Derry
love
Girls.
Derry
Love
Girls.
Derry Girls. If you haven't watched it, any viewers, watch Derry Girls. It's hilarious.
Oh my God, Dairy Girls is amazing. But there's an uncle on that show that his name is like, I don't know, like Uncle George or something like that.
Uncle
And he's like
Colm.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like a great uncle to the main character girls, and he's an uncle to the older characters. And they're at like, I don't know, a funeral or some family thing or whatever, and they're all standing around in the circle, and the uncle is talking, and he's just like talking and talking and talking and talking. His whole character is that he just talks and never stops. And the mother on the show just goes, "Oh, I'm gonna have to interrupt you for a second." And so he stops talking, and then she's like, "I don't have anything to say. I just had to interrupt you because I couldn't listen anymore to what you were saying." And that's like the same vibe. And I actually joked with my mom that I would have to do that to her at some point because she's a huge talker. But that, like, whenever I think of that scene, it just makes me laugh so hard because I just think it's so funny that she just interrupted him for no reason. Okay, so we took a little diversion there. Okay, next quote. It has been known that the prospect of the altar can bring on the symptoms of a grumbling appendix.
Well, back to you, try. You try. Look
Now,
at my face.
I think they're talking about Jimmy
Mm-hmm.
because he was in hospital.
Yeah, with an appendicitis, and he was about to get married. Yeah.
Now, who said that? I think it was Sister Monica Jones.
I don't.
Bex, why would Sister Monica Jones be at the London talking about Jimmy?
It's the kind of thing she would say, but it was the doctor.
It was the doctor.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that horrible doctor who just was like passing off everything because he was like just terrible at his job and he was always drunk. Okay.
No, he had an illness. He wasn't drunk, was he?
He had Parkinson's or something.
Yes, that's right. You're right. Yeah. You're right. I apologize. I apologize to that doctor. He was not a good doctor.
He was probably drunk as well. He was awful. Anyway, carry on.
Okay. It's as though we're all involved in some gigantic lie. And well, I'm just not dishonest by nature. What do you guys think about that one?
Bex?
So we need to narrow it down. What's the gigantic lie?
Well, hang on, it sounds like something Trixie would say, but I don't think it is. Right, hang on, let me think. What's it feels like we're all involved in one gigantic lie.
Say it again, please, Jen.
It's as though we're all involved in some gigantic lie. And well, I'm just not dishonest by nature.
I think it's Cynthia. Is it Cynthia?
No, it's none of the midwives, if that helps you. But she is a medical professional.
Is it the nurse?
It is a nurse.
The nurse, the sister who was with Jenny Lee. Oh no, Patsy Mount.
Yes! Patsy. Yes. So this was Patsy's first episode, and I love Patsy so much, and so I just had to get a thing in. Also, it's not dishonesty, but I thought this was an interesting quote because we know something about Patsy in later seasons that she's concealing at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Can I just say about Patsy as well? Like, this is a bit of a bombshell. But like I feel about Patsy the way you feel about Jimmy. Like, I don't fancy her, but if I was going to turn lesbian, it would be her. Like, I think she's so beautiful and so amazing. I just love her. Yeah, and in real life, she's won an Oscar. And I felt like this before she won an Oscar. So, I've got good taste.
Won an Oscar?
Yeah.
Wait, for what?
Emerald Fennell. She won and she wrote, what was the film called, Bex? You carry on and I'll find out the film.
Yeah, you look it up because I didn't realize she'd won an Academy Award. That's amazing.
It's also Camilla Brown.
Yeah, that doesn't make me like. I don't fancy her, but if I could, I would.
I know. I will say, Patsy she's gorgeous. Her personality is amazing. I mean,
promising young woman.
Oh, she wrote that?
Yeah.
Oh.
And she directed it, so she got best original screenplay, best director, best picture. Yeah, she was a nominee, but she won the best original screenplay.
Is that the one with Carey
Mulligan?
Yeah,
Mulligan. Oh my God, I didn't realize she wrote that
and directed it.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, amazing. I will say, like,
I've got good taste in women.
You really do. You really do. I may join you on that bandwagon when she gets to be a bigger character. Definitely.
I just think she's great.
Oh my God, I love her. She's oh yeah. Anyway, we'll go into Patsy in detail. Okay. Sometimes you have to admit defeat and let the world turn as it must.
I think it's a nun.
Mm-hmm.
Which one, Alex?
Oh God, they're all molded into one. Is it sister? Sister, I've got one bit. Sister, Monica Joan.
No.
Damn it.
Evangelina.
Yes, Evangelina.
Oh.
So cute. Not so cute. So close. So this is the scene where Jenny has been going over to
Dougie's house.
And and she's just like doing everything all the time, and she's exhausted because and Sister Evangelina is like, oh, how's the nannying job going, like along with your regular midwife duties? And she's like, what do you mean? And she's like, listen, like, I know you feel bad, we've all been there, but you have to just kind of like let things figure themselves out now, like you can't keep holding up this family, like. And then she says sometimes you have to admit defeat and let the world turn as it must, and like they're gonna either sink or swim, and you've got to kind of let them do what they're gonna do. And I will say, like, I listened to that and I felt I really like that, because I've been in that situation, not the same situation, but I've been in tough situations with clients where I want to hold on and I want to like keep kind of holding them up, but at a certain point you just have to let people be people. So I don't know, just this show is just so great on many levels.
But she was right to keep holding on.
She was, but this was in the point in the episode where they're starting to get to a breaking point, and it's like, you've got to. She did a lot, and she should have done a lot, but at the same time, we were, you're navigating those tricky waters of. Okay. I've grown accustomed to the sound of your voice. It's strange when you aren't talking.
Thanks.
Is it Jane and the Reverend Appleby Thornton?
You guys can't see this, our listeners, but I love Vex's face. She's like, her little eyes lit up so much. Yes, that's when they're at the like bus depot or train depot, and they're saying goodbye to each other, and she's just kind of blurted out this whole big thing, and
oh, and she's run out. Yeah, I loved.
It's so sweet. It's so sweet. I really wanted to put some stuff in with them because I just love them so much, and
same.
And I tried to pick something that wasn't like whatever, but I really like that. I just the way she says, I've grown accustomed to the sound of your voice.
And also, it's not as if we can talk about her in future series because she was axed
unceremoniously. I know.
Hang on, she might have asked to leave.
Well, perhaps the actress can get in touch and speak to us about what happened.
Yeah, we need your side. God.
Yeah, we want to hear what happened.
This is your chance to
redress.
Let the public know.
Yeah.
That is something they do on the show. People leave in very like strange ways, which we can talk about more. Okay, now here we go. Next quote. What do you think you're playing at? Now take that off before you go to hell.
Now I know. I think
Who is it? Who is it?
I think it's when Sister Monica Joan is trying to get out of going to the mother house, and she's thrown. What was she thrown out of the window?
A wimple.
Her wimple. And one of the kids is using it as a cape in the street.
And who shouts it?
Trixie.
Well done.
Trixie. Okay. Yes. Good. Okay. Very good. I just love that when she says, take that off before you go to hell. I just thought that was so funny. Okay. Matrons in charge, virgins of iron. Just don't ask me to go anywhere near the men's ward.
Is it Patsy? Is either Patsy or Jenny Lee?
No.
Oh.
Matrons in charge.
Just don't ask me to go anywhere near the men's ward. Is someone going to the London?
No.
Oh.
Is it the where they give birth?
Oh, it's the sanatorium.
No.
The maternity hospital.
No.
Why would there be a men's ward in the maternity?
Oh, yeah, that's a really good idea. I'm really tired. Well, you say that, Bex, but could happen.
So this is the first one you guys haven't gotten. So this is also Trixie. This is what she says to Jenny right after she's come back from that horrible date where she was abused or she was assaulted by Clifford Rains. She says something like Cynthia's just gone to fetch the avocado. And Jenny was like, oh, you're going to be back at it soon. And she's like, no. She's like, why don't we just go start a hospital like all of our own? She's like, matron in charge, virgins of iron. She said, just don't ask me to go anywhere near the men's ward because she just was like, doesn't want to deal with men at this point. It was the matrons in charge, virgins of iron that got me. Okay.
It goes.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I still have so many. Okay. At this moment, I only know I'm not turning my back on you because of you. I'm doing it because of him. Do you know who it is, Bex?
I'm going to let Alex answer this one.
That's a no. And it's Sister Bernadette. Well, she's still Sister Bernadette. To Dr. Turner when he does his like Jeffrey Dahmer kiss on her hand.
I knew you were going to bring up Jeffrey Dahmer.
I knew I was going to bring up Jeffrey Dahmer, which is why I brought it up.
See, this is the kind of telepathy that you get after decades of friendship. Okay. Yeah. All right. Next quote. I don't know how you can walk in those things. I'd feel a bit vertiginous myself.
Now, this is Fred.
Yes!
Because I was shocked by his use of the word vertiginous.
Vertiginous, yes. So this is when Trixie has got her...
Vertiginous. Proximity.
Proximity. This is when Trixie is trying on a new pair of high heels and she's trying to wiggle like Marilyn Monroe. And she says, oh, Fred, can you chop off a bit of the heel to make me have like more of a wiggle? And he's like, oh, I don't know how you can walk in those things. I'd feel a bit vertiginous myself. Okay. Oh, I'm very pleased to meet you. You look after your mother. Don't have her ever do the barrels. That's your job.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Masterson.
Mr. Masterson.
Oh, when he was,
I know. I just love them so much, and I just had to include a quote. And like, I just when he says to this little baby, like, "You look after your mother," like, I just couldn't.
Oh, when he says something like, you've just arrived, and I'm just going. Oh my God, no, I'm going to cry again.
I know. Well, I didn't want to put that line in because I knew that would set us off and also be like very, very easy. But it's so sweet. Okay. All right, next quote. Well, that's all tickety-boo and marvelous. Do give her my regards.
We should get this. Come on, we can do it.
Yeah.
I think it's Sister Evangelina being facetious.
Nope.
No. That's all tickety-boo and give her my regards. I can hear her saying it. Is it Jenny Lee?
No.
Hang on. It's all tickety-boo and marvelous.
Well, that's all tickety-boo and marvelous. Do give her my regards.
It's Chummy.
No, it's not a woman.
Oh, it's Dr. Turner it's Dr. Turner when he's trying to dig about Sister Bernadette in the sanatorium.
Yes,
that is not chilled. I love it.
He's like he just heard that Trixie, like he's talking to Trixie about Sister Bernadette, and she's like, oh, well, I'm gonna go see her, and he's like, oh, really? Well, like, how's she doing? And she says like some things. He's like, and you can tell he's just like, I want it. Like, he just wants to say more, and so he just goes, oh, well, that's all tickety-boo and marvelous. Well, do give her my regards. Like, just trying to be so cool and just so not being cool. Okay. Okay. Now, just to give a hint, this is two people speaking. Okay.
Okay.
If anyone was to see us in this position with me behind you, I beg your pardon.
I know exactly who this is.
I know who this is. This is one of our favourite scenes.
It's Sister Evangelina and Fred.
And Fred, yes, they're on the back of the moped scooter bike, which is, I just thought that was such a. And then he goes on to say, "Oh, well, like, I'm just teaching you," or whatever like that. But I just love that line. Okay. Oh, hang me, draw me, quarter me, Cynthia. It was a family heirloom. You never should have trusted me with it.
Oh, it's Chummy in those buttons.
But then can I just say they were only about 22 years old. So don't get me wrong, it's not fine, but it's not as family heirloom as you think.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was some hundreds of years or whatever like that.
Yeah.
Pipe
down, Cynthia.
I just had to get Chummy in here. Okay. You said it to me once. You're my friend and I want you to be happy. And one day, maybe this week, maybe next year, you're going to be happy with someone else. And I'm going to be glad.
Oh, and we know who she had to get another quote in because she
I
wanted
got 10 more. No, I'm
Jimmy.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's Jimmy. But you
Of
know
course
what?
it's Jimmy. Of course it's Jimmy.
Jimmy. No, but the thing is, I will say I put this in here because like Jenny
You love him?
is. I do love him. I do. But I think he's probably about 4 inches shorter than me. But the thing is, like, I think that Jenny is
And
kind
fictional.
of in like.
I bet Jen knows he's looked up his height.
Hang on, I can look that up.
He just does not look like a tall man. But anyways, but the thing is, like, Jenny's kind of in her like miserable grump phase a little bit in this kind of part of the series, and I do think that like what he says is very generous and very kind and like very supportive as a friend. And so I do have a soft spot for Jimmy.
Considering that she ditched him and then realized her mistake, and then
yeah. I agree. Okay. Okay, just for time, I'm gonna skip. This is one of my all-time most favorite quotes. Oh, I love this quote. You belong to no one but yourself, and you know exactly where you're going. Stop looking up his.
I'm looking up his height. I feel like I'm being really thick today.
You belong to no one.
He's not even 5'7".
Yeah, he's short. You can tell he's short. He's like as tall as Jenny in like flat shoes. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, I've got it. I'm still playing the game. It is Sister Julienne talking to Sister Bernadette when she gets married.
Yes.
Oh, what a scene.
You belong to no one but yourself, and you know exactly where you're going. Girls, it is one of the most beautiful lines of television ever, and it is delivered by one of the best characters ever. And like,
it is.
Like,
one of the best characters.
Oh, I want to put it on a mug. I want to put it on a t-shirt. I want to like frame it and put it on my wall.
You know what? Maybe that could be me call the midwife merchandise.
Oh, okay, listeners, do you want t-shirts that say this quote? Like, oh,
or
my
mugs.
goodness. Or mugs, or like a little fridge magnet or something. Like, please let us know. Oh my God, I would kill for that merch. I would pay top dollars. Okay,
but she'd have that on the front, and then she'd have a picture of Jimmy on the back.
Can I have mine without Jimmy? I'll have a picture of Patsy Mau.
No, I'd have a t-shirt with like a little Jimmy's face, but it says, "And I'm going to be glad." That's what I would have. Oh gosh, yeah. So those are the quotes. I had a few more, but just for time, we'll kind of, skip and finish up the show, like finish up the other parts of the show. So yeah, but that was very good. I will say,
well done, Jen. You were brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well done.
I enjoy pulling these out. It reminds me of all the little moments that sometimes don't get enough attention. So I want to shine a little light on them. Okay, so that wraps up season 2. A lot of great moments in the season, and
from Jimmy.
A lot of great Jimmy moments.
I mean, most of the great moments in the whole series were from him, as far as I'm concerned.
Jimmy just carried the series.
Not for me.
Yeah. As long as Jimmy was on screen, it was like, Technicolor, and then when he left, the whole show just got more, gray, black and white. He was the special angel of my heart in this series.
Oh.
I'm not even that obsessed with him, but like you've now made it into such a thing that
Tell that to your quotes. You're not that obsessed with him.
Oh gosh. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna own it. All right. I just, listen, it's when it's hard out here being single sometimes. I've got to tell you. Okay. All right. So heroes and zeros of the week. So who wants to go first?
Okay. So this is heroes and zeros of the whole series.
Sorry. Yes, of the whole series 2. So beginning to end of series 2, heroes and zeros. Ladies,
so my hero is Jane.
Oh, of course.
I just loved her. She was just such a gentle character, and just the evolution that she had over the course of the series. Just she blossomed. She met the Reverend Appleby Thornton. Just growing in confidence. Just loved everything about Jane. And I'm sorry
that the club outfit was amazing.
Oh, when she wore the polo neck.
Yeah.
And then my 0 will be Jenny.
Oh, okay.
Because she turned Jimmy down. Then she realized she liked Jimmy, but it was too late to get Jimmy. And then I really do think she, with the whole, like, how many pregnant women does she come across where they've got themselves into a sticky situation? They know that they wouldn't have got married, but they're going to do the right thing. And she actively encouraged Jimmy not to do the right thing. And then I think she was a bit sorry when it worked out well.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
She didn't wish him well.
So
Jen,
yeah,
do I go? Oh, go on.
Well, I was just to say Jenny. Yeah,
on to another Jenny, Jennifer Deviney. You next.
Okay. Oh, I just had it. Oh, my 0 for this series, and this is not going to be like resolved in future series, but let me phrase this correctly. My 0 is the lack of so many basic human and equitable rights for women. And this series highlighted a lot of them, and they just reminded me of, how far we've come, how so far we have to go. And like, if you do not have the right to control your own body, your own destiny, the ability to live autonomously, you don't you lose a lot. And we saw a lot of tough stuff in this season, and I just feel very strongly about that. So I just want, I want women to be equal members in society. And so
that was so much better than mine.
No.
Right, who's your hero?
I mean, Jimmy. I don't know what else to say. No, Jimmy's not my hero. I want to highlight Sister Evangelina as my hero because she is one of my all-time favorite characters, and she had so many good lines, and she is so wise, but she's also so loving, and she just always is willing to plumb the depths of her own understanding of the world, learning and growing as a person, and her compassion and care just are legendary, and I just love her. And Sister Evangelina is just my top. I love her.
Right, now mine was going to be Sister Julienne.
Oh,
0 or hero?
Hero, obviously. She was going to be my hero because I think the way she dealt with Sister Bernadette leaving and everything. And then Jen, you've just said Sister Evangelina that was basically then going to go for. So I'm still going to go for Sister Evangelina because I just feel like the way she dealt with the way Sister Bernadette left was just so much, she had so much pain, but she just put it all to the side for her friend. She didn't even try and stop her or say anything, and didn't even do it with her face like Sister Julienne did. She was just amazing. I also think she's just such a badass. On the motorbike scene was one of my favorite things I've ever seen in my life. She's just, and also the going up to the ship, she did better than all of us three combined. I just love her. I think she's amazing, and I think at first she seems quite brusque, but I just think she's an absolute gem, right?
She definitely softened as it went on, didn't she?
Yeah, definitely. But she's my number 1. She is my hero of the week. Ladies, my 0 of the week. It's Jimmy.
Oh, no.
And I can tell you for why. Not because I'm sick of hearing his quotes, when I am. It's because how is he getting away with this behaviour? If that was any other dad who'd just got someone pregnant and then told someone else they loved them and wanted to be with them, I'm sorry, that is not acceptable behaviour. He's just going around getting an excuse for it because he's cute and on casualty. No. I'm not into Jimmy. I think he's boring, and I think he's really annoying, and I think he's just there trying to he was there shaming Jenny for not going out with him and around the table and stuff. I just don't like him, and I'm sick of you liking him, and I'm glad he's going. So that It's my zero of the whole series, Jimmy.
Oh, what a way to end the series.
Yes, it's a good way for me. It's like I've got all this angst about Jimmy out.
You had to just exercise yourself. What do you say, Beth?
Like, stop excusing him because he's good looking to you. Like, I don't think he's that good looking. I think he looks like a child. There, you upset it. So there we go.
Oh, God. Well, okay, listen, I do not excuse everything just because he's good looking. That's not what it is. I do genuinely think that, like, in many of the scenes, he makes fair points. And, like, if
he was really ugly, you would not excuse as much as you have.
I may not have excused as much, but I still would excuse a lot. And I will say, like, I do think I do.
He's a zero. He's my zero. It's not changing.
I'm not saying Jimmy never did no wrong, but I'm just saying, like, when he was doing it, he looked really good.
No, I think he just called out Jenny, and I think he just spoke some truths that were hard to hear for her.
I don't care about the Jenny thing. I don't care about the Jenny thing at all. It's about the fact that he got someone pregnant and then basically told Jenny he loved her straight afterwards. Like, it was always you.
Listen, he didn't coerce Francine into doing anything she didn't want to do.
Well,
and, like,
how do we know? Did we see the scene of conception?
We know now that Francine trapped him.
No,
yes,
she'll trap him.
Of course she did. She was like, "Oh, the second I haven't even told him that I'm pregnant yet, but I'm already at my first gynecological appointment, and I know that he's going to."
How does that mean she trapped him just because she knew she was pregnant? Like, she just wanted to make sure first before she told him.
I don't know. I don't see
excusing Jimmy.
I don't see it that way at all. I feel like granted, like, they both did something. I mean, Jimmy and
hang on. Did we have big, massive conflabs about your two zeros? No. We are keeping with my zero.
I'm not asking you to change. I'm not asking you to change your zero. I'm just saying that, like,
you're just arguing with me about my zero, and it still stands.
It stands. It definitely stands. But I'm just saying, I don't think the only reason that I give Jimmy a bit of credit is because of his looks. I think I also give Jimmy credit because of the situation that he's in and the things that are happening. And I think that he does deserve his side of the story as well.
You reminded me of then Sister Monica Joan.
Oh.
Wow!
Dagger in my heart.
What a roast, Bex.
Is that because I insulted Jimmy?
Drag her to hell and back. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, you know what? Fair points all, and I think I respect everyone's heroes and zeros, and I see everyone's points, and actually I don't think we'll ever really, talk about Jimmy that much again.
Thank God. Right. Thank you for listening.
Forever, I'll carry an eternal torch, but no.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening to our season 2 recap. Next week, we are going to be doing a translation episode. Also, listeners' questions.
Call it a listener special.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, recall the midwife, a listener special.
Yeah, because basically we're gonna anybody who sent in suggestions of things they'd like us to talk about, we're gonna basically run through all of those.
And we're gonna drink Horlicks live on the podcast. I say live, we're recording it on the podcast.
I'm nodding my head.
I've not had Horlicks ever. Have any of you?
No.
I'm not sure.
Oh, you didn't even know you had an ice cream when you were little, so don't.
Anything before last week, Bex just has no institutional memory of it.
Yeah, I'm not sure of it. But so yeah, I can't confirm either way.
Point being, you won't remember when you do have it.
I've definitely never had it. Yeah, we'll also do a bunch of random things. And if we could just ask if you could follow the show, if you'd like to leave a comment, a review, we would love all of that as
subscribe.
Well. Yep, subscribe.
So yeah, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.